Today I'm making something of paella and jambalaya nature, as it came about when my husband and I were talking about foods we enjoy, and I mentioned jambalaya and he told me of paella. This concoction is our happy meeting of that type of meal. I used chorizo and pre-prepared shrimp, as well as half the container of sour cream and half of a red bell pepper. For rice, we used pre-flavored microwavable and this time featured the Cajun jambalaya tilde, although we have previously used and also enjoyed Ben's Cajun rice. I start with slicing, then dicing the bell pepper. It has already had the seeds removed and been washed. Next up is the chorizo, which has already been pulled in half, as this is the second of 2 meals to make. While the casement is safe to consume, my husband doesn't like it, and so I remove it as best as I can. Then I cut the chorizo into relatively thin slices, snacking on the first and last pieces as they are oddly shaped for the pan. At this point, I stick the rice, with a vented corner, into the microwave where it will sit a few minutes after finishing. I add butter to the pan, which has been preheating for a minute or two, and I'm not afraid to be generous with the amount. It isn't necessary, but adds a nice flavoring that you might miss otherwise. The first thing that goes into the pan of hot butter is the plate of bell pepper and chorizo pieces. If you were using halves of red grape, they could go in now as well, and I do recommend trying it as they add a really nice sweet juiciness to the dish, but I don't have any this time. I check the time at this point as well and make a mental note of it. Now I make sure the chorizo slices are not buddying up and each sitting flat in the pan. Give it a couple minutes before flipping each over, and the pepper pieces too, and there should be a yellowish coloration as they are flipped. I continue this flipping routine for about 3 to 4 minutes. Next comes time to throw the shrimp in, and would be the other opportunity to add grape halves if doing so. Pretty straightforward, I plop the package of prepped shrimp into the pan and then separate them out evenly. After the first flip of the shrimp, I add no more than 1 crack of ground pepper. Combo, letting the ingredients rest and turning them over for the next 2 minutes or so. It has now been about 6 minutes since I put the first ingredients into the pan, and this is when I lower the heat from a higher medium to a lower medium. On our hob, that's about 6 to a 4. And add the rice. Pour it in and then spread it out, breaking up clumps in the process. This will go for another couple minutes. Around the 8-minute mark, it is time to remove heat and add the sour cream, which I then thoroughly work into the rest. The goal is to have the sour cream coating all of the other ingredients as evenly as possible. No random clumps or areas more concentrated, while the rest is barren. Cooking is now finished, and it is time to serve up and enjoy.